If you're familiar with this sound,
You like D&D, Audrey Hepburn, Fangoria, Harry Houdini, and croquet. You can't swim, you can't dance, and you don't know karate. Face it, you're never gonna make it.
I don't want to make it. I just wanna.
you're probably already aware of what decade I'm talking about. No other than My Chemical Romance's I'm Not Okay, I Promise track off of their debut album, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, released in 2004. It was released on September 27th, 2004 by Reprise Records, who signed similar artists like Green Day, Deftones, and Never Shout Never. The whole album was composed by the band members Frank Iero, Ray Toro, Gerard Way, Mikey Way, and Matt Palizer. It was produced by Howard Benson, who worked on things like The Reason by Hoobastank, Move Along by the All-American Rejects, and MCR's Desert Song off their later album Life on the Murder Scene. It was recorded at Bay 7 Studios in Village Valley, California, where bands like Tom Petty and Queens of the Stone Age recorded, with segments of it also being recorded at Howard Benson Studios, Sparky Dark Studios in Calabasas, California, where albums like Against by Sepultura and Flyleaf's self-titled 2008 album were recorded. The track runs 3 minutes and 8 seconds and features chunky power chords, a harmonic guitar solo with two guitars, a harmonic third apart from each other, and lyrics full of teenage angst. It's structured into an intro verse-chorus, solo chorus-chorus format and is inspired by the sounds of Queen. Gerard Way stated that the song was about a cracking at the tears situation where he liked a girl that was already in a relationship, calling it a cry for help trapped in a pop song. With the lyrics, I'm not okay, you wear me out. What will it take to show you that it's not the life it seems? I've told you time and time again, you sing the words, but don't know what it means. To be a joke and look, another line without a hook. The track has been identified as one of the defining songs of the 2000s and has been credited for bringing emo culture into the mainstream. This was MCR's breakout single and debuted at number 21 on the charts. It's certified 3 times platinum and is the most played song during their live sets still to this day. It was such a big hit that it was even featured on the video game Burnout 3, Takedown, and the movie The House Bunny. It skyrocketed them to fame, along with the help of other iconic tracks off the album, like Helena and The Ghost of You. And it did not take them long to become cultural phenomenon. This track, and honestly the whole album, perfectly symbolize the time that they came from, but also have the power to instantly transport the listener back to the first time that they heard it, much like songs Anarchy in the USA and Smells Like Teen Spirit do. They define the teenage angst and the rebellion of the youth at their time. This track itself is noted as being the rallying cry for the children of the early 2000s who had seen firsthand, for some, the effects of war, school shootings, and constant terrorism threats, along with facing things like bullying and other not so great feelings, typical people face. It really was about that coming of age, and it allowed so many people to connect with the music, and that's what made it such a big deal. It stood as an outsider anthem for the millions of misunderstood teenagers around the world and was deemed a genuine anthem for the dissatisfied, still sounding as righteously pissed off and fresh as it did almost a decade ago. It was around this time that the third wave of emo was beginning, and with the help of My Chemical Romance, this would be the one that would break emo into the mainstream for good. Now, it was already a popular genre. It's not like it was this big underground thing. People knew about emo, and it had a pretty large fan base. However, it was the popularity and the booming success of MCR that would allow emo to really take over and become what it's known as today. Bands like Jimmy Eat World and Dashboard Confessionals were part of that second wave of emo, who were the ones to bring it to the mainstream, really, but MCR really did their big one, and they just blew it out of the water. It would be bands like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, and Paramore that would really change the genre forever. It was on October 3rd, 2006 that MCR would release The Black Parade, which featured iconic songs like Famous Last Words, Teenagers, And of course, Welcome to the Black Parade. It was released under Reprise Records and produced by Rob Cavallo and MCR themselves. The band started writing the album in April of 2006 while they were secluded in the Paramore Mansion in Los Angeles, California. Gerard Way was on vocals, Mikey Way was on bass, Ray Toro was over lead guitar and backing vocal, Frank Iero was on rhythm guitar and backup vocal as well, with Bob Breyer now joining the bunch as their drummer. It was recorded at El Dorado Recording Studios in Burbank, California, where bands like Avenged Sevenfold, Alice in Chains, Jane's Addiction, and Talking Heads all recorded. The album's lead single, Welcome to the Black Parade, was released on September 12th, 2006, and was the staple of the album. This album was record-breaking, mind-alteringly huge. Everyone knew about it, emo or not, I think. Still to this day, there are kids being emo and listening to these tracks. It runs 5 minutes and 15 seconds, with the radio edit running 4 minutes and 37 seconds. It's described as a powerful rock opera ballad and opens up with a piano introduction that rings in the ears and the hearts of emo kids and millennials all around the world. That infamous G note. After this, it segues into a marching band-like section before breaking out into a frantic burst of energy with horns, guitar, fast drum, and lyrics about overcoming darkness that were relatable to many. It's structured into an intro, verse, solo, chorus, instrumental, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro structure, making it far more complex than most songs you would hear on the radio at that time. Their work was compared to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, Pink Floyd's In the Flesh, and Green Day's Jesus of Suburbia. The song follows along with the album's concept story of a patient who died from cancer recollecting some of their memories before passing. In Welcome to the Black Parade specifically, the patient describes one of their fondest childhood memories, spending a day with their dad to go see a marching band. It's an uplifting yet heartbreaking anthem that fueled the flame of a generation. This album received extremely high critical reception and was deemed one of the biggest songs of 2006. It was ranked 3rd by the Times and 17th by the Rolling Stones, and reached over 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the Modern Rock Tracks charts. It sold over 7 million copies in the US and almost 2 million in the UK, and was featured in Rock Band 2, Rocksmith, and Guitar Hero, Warriors of Rock. The accompanying music video won them MTV's Greatest Music Video of the Century and was added to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 Songs That Shaped Rock and Roll list. It covered advanced topics of grief, depression, belonging, mortality, heartbreak, and resilience, making it very personal to all fans and a generation of people who felt misunderstood. It fostered a sense of community and safety among the fan base, and as the crowds grew larger and larger, the love was only spread more. Because of this, MCR was able to create a ripple in music history and a massive movement that was much larger than just a couple of good songs. Much like with their debut album, MCR's ability to symbolize a point in time while also being timelessly relatable is what makes the albums so important to people and, again, to music history in general. With its success came other emo iconic staples of the time like Riot by Paramore, Under the Cork Tree by Fall Out Boy, and A Lesson in Romantics by Mayday Parade, which further pushed emo into the mainstream. And by the late 2000s, emo had pretty much taken over rock stations and teenagers' CD collections. There was no escaping it. Emo was here, emo was staying. Maybe not for super long. It did kind of drop off, but we have seen an emo resurgence as of late with MCR coming back. They're on tour now. People were able to relate not only to the stories behind the concept albums and behind the songs, but the band members themselves, which I think is what allowed emo to kind of blow up the way it did. There was that sense of identity attached to all of the music, and people were able to kind of process that music on a deeper level in create more of a connection to it. In the end, MCR's ability to be effortlessly relatable, real, and authentic while also just making great stellar music is what cemented them as emo icons still to this day. I mean, I was born in 2004 when their debut album came out, and I mean, they're on my wall. These tracks earned them a long-lasting connection with their fan base and a legacy that will